I want to tell you a story of a band that once was. One of my favorites who I found before the events that took place, a band called Hers. Hers was a band created by Stephen Fitzpatrick.
I am Stephen Fitzpatrick, singer and guitarist.
In Auden Ladding in 2015.
I'm Odin Lodding, and I play bass. I do backing vocals.
And together, we are Hers.
Well, actually, there's a snippet of a song uploaded on YouTube called Pool Water that released in 2014. So we can roughly say they formed around this time, but I'm not too sure. The two created songs under this name with a sound that is inspired by the likes of the Beach Boys, Mac DeMarco, and Ariel Pink, with their music heavily inspired by the show Twin Peaks, which I'll talk about later. Their first ever single under the name Hers is titled Dorothy, which is described as an energetic and upbeat song. The song was met with big praise by critics. And again, their sound was compared to people like Beach Fossils and Ariel Pink. I already said this. But this wouldn't be the first time they made a song together, as both Stephen and Auden were in bands prior to them forming Hers. If you go into Stephen's SoundCloud, you can see a song called Baby I Love It. This was made by him prior with a band called Offices. This song has his charming and deep voice, but with a different sound than his other songs on the Hers albums. We also see on his SoundCloud a cover of Sunshine, Lollipops, and Rainbows, which is also pretty nice to have. And another short snippet called Need Them to See, which is sung by Auden, I believe.
Walking down L1, absent-minded, far-sighted, can't fight it. Clumsily, some said carelessly, waving around my pair of shades. Now I lost them.
What came along with the single Dorothy is a song that most people are familiar with when you think of the band Hers. This, of course, being the song What Once Was. This is Hers' most popular song, with a beautiful bass and angelic vocals. The song is described as a sad tune that references the passing of a family member. This song would show off what the band's sound was like to new listeners and become extremely popular, especially on TikTok right now. This would be their go-to song to sing on studio sessions and on tour, which would continue to influence their career. After the band released their duo singles, the band released another track soon after, which is my personal favorite, a song called Marcel. It has a more nautical sound to it, I guess, kind of like a, beachy feel. The song was based off a photo they found in a wallet while thrifting of a man named Marcel Mueller. Originally, the name of the song was going to be David Seaman, but once they found out the owner of the wallet was long gone, they dedicated the song to Marcel. Then finally, one last single was made before the EP was released. This song was the ever so famous Speed Racer, along with the track I'll Try. Speed Racer was also given a music video which builds on the song's theme of a one-night stand.
Let me love you tonight. 'Cause I'm a real speed racer, so I gotta get to know you alright.
The lyrics of the song speak about only needing love for one night. You know, not needing it for the rest of your life. I mean, just listen to the song and you hear what I mean.
Only need your love for one night. Only need your love for one night. Only need your love for one night. Repeat for the rest of my life.
This would also be a very popular song for hers, as it's extremely catchy and fast-paced. I still can't believe that they shaved their heads for the music video and also found an actress, a female actress, to do the exact same thing and shave her head.
But it's fine, 'cause I'm just coming up.
After all the singles were out, the band took to release a sort of completion album, or an EP, of all the singles thus far. Titled Songs of Hers, this included all the previous mentioned singles, plus 4 new tracks to make it complete. Although the band stated that it was never a fully cohesive album, and more of just a completion of what they worked on, the album still had new tracks, consisting of Cool With You, Cop's Theme, which is an interlude, Medieval, and You Don't Know This Guy.
You don't know this guy. He's alright, overrated time.
Each song with a different melody and sound, perfectly placed together in their first and only EP. The new track that stood out on this album, Medieval, is known as the band's more slow and depressing song. At least that's what I've heard people say. The song features a slower paced melody, different from what this band has usually been doing. But overall, their first EP was a success, and led the band to work on something more cohesive and more of a piece rather than a completion. Before we move on, I would like to mention that before releasing a full-length album, the boys made a beautiful cover of a song by Minnie Riperton called Loving You. This cover is done so well, it makes me wish they did more covers.
Loving you is easy 'cause you're beautiful. Making love with you is all I want to do.
It was officially re-released this year, and it's really special to have something that says new release from hers. So if you haven't already, go listen to this cover. All right, let's move on.
And everything that I do is out of love in you.
This leads up to their next stage of their career. The band went right to work on their next album, wanting to lead into their inspiration of the show Twin Peaks, and make a new sound for what they wanted to do going forward. The band started posting teasers of a new single. They would post a number, which would be a call hotline, which the caller would hear a sort of ad for a Love on the Line hotline. Sadly, I don't have the audio for this, and I've tried asking people on Discord for this audio. It's pretty much like you can't find it anymore, and the phone number has been disconnected. This leads up to the release of the first single, Love on the Line.
Call me up Saturday night. Say whatever to whatever you like. I'll be waiting on the end of the line. All I want is for you to be mine.
which is a fast-paced pop song that entails about falling in love with a phone love hotline worker. The band even stated they wanted the song to sound like sort of a jingle of a sex hotline or one of those ads, which had them listening and watching different ads to make the song sound more realistic and catchy. Although there is no music video, it has a very sick cover art and it would be amazing as like a single vinyl like they did for Speed Racer. Then what followed was a song for all the bikers and motorcycle riders out there, Low Beam. A song focusing on topics of toxic masculinity, I cannot say that word for the life of me, through the eyes of a biker. This song has more of a cooler bass lift to it, which makes you feel like you're a biker, or maybe that's just me.
I know what you're thinking, you can take it for a ride. Baby, leave me out of this, I'm never gonna hide. You can keep on running, but you're running out of track. I'ma keep it coming, it's a matter of fact. I know what you're thinking, you can take it for a ride. Baby, do you wish you know I'm never.
Then of course, what came after Low Beam is one of her second most popular songs, with the song based off a certain movie with an imaginary rabbit.
I introduced them to Harvey, and he's bigger and grander than anything they offer me.
Of course, I'm talking about Harvey. Harvey is a beautiful song about friendship and love, with the same story of the movie, Harvey, which, like I mentioned, is about a man who befriends a big, tall rabbit named Harvey. I actually have the movie on VHS, so can somebody tell me if this is like a Hers reference or something? What followed this song would be a masterpiece of a music video, which I'll touch on later. For the final single, the band released the final song on the album in one of their more melancholy and slow tracks, something you could slow dance to, titled Under Wraps. This song is a lot different from all the other Her songs, for being more slow-paced and similar to the track Medieval, which should have set a theme in the band's later albums, but we know why that couldn't be. Then finally, after months of waiting, their debut album, Invitation to Hers, was given to the world. This album is an introduction to the band's music and is loosely based off a soap opera in the show Twin Peaks with the same name, Invitation to Love.
Or Invitation to Love.
Many tracks throughout this album be based off different episodes, and that can be apparent when listening to the album. We were given 11 new tracks, which all carry their own unique style and experience when listening. The ones that stand out to me the most, which aren't singles, are Manny's Smile, based off Steven's Cat. Breathing Easier, for its lyrics that sort of foreshadow the events that took place later on. And finally, my favorite song of all time, which I listen to and sing daily, She Needs Him. Which is about a guy who falls in love with a girl already in a relationship, and he wishes he could dream just a little bit more. And, he also wishes for her to be alone. The most special part to me about this song is the ending bridge, which features a melody, slow, dancey instrumental, with lyrics that repeat, I want her to know he don't have it all. This album had high critic acclaim and had the two boys go on many interviews to talk about their new baby and play some of the songs live.
Well, the title of your album, Invitation to Hers, is like a nod to Twin Peaks, and there are more references on the album to Twin Peaks.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, how?
we try and live like the Twin Peaks lifestyle as much as possible.
What is the Twin
What
Peaks?
is the Twin Peaks lifestyle?
It's walking through the woods at night, being a little bit emotional. It's
just having the moonlight, having off times in the room.
Yeah,
you're saying weird things to each other.
Strange, uncomfortable situations.
Yeah,
but
we try and revel in that. Yeah.
One interview caught my eye when researching for this video, that the boys mentioned this album was meant to have around 11 to 12 songs, which means we could have got another song for the album. But we later know which song this was, which again, I'll mention later. With the success of the album, what came next was the music videos, which to me are some of the best well-shot music videos I've seen other than the videos from Lord Huron. No, I give up. The first and best music video is of the song Under Wraps, which tells the story of a guy who meets with his, I'm guessing his ex or his girlfriend, at a roller skating rink. This video is extremely well shot, and every second of this video is done beautifully well. It makes me wonder what other music videos we could have gotten for this album. We see the two slowly dancing on roller skates, which is the most impressive thing I've seen all day, because I can't roller skate. This music video holds a special place in my heart, and got me to base a short film I made for a 72-hour film fest inspired by both the song and the video, and that's how much this music video really spoke to me. I still watch it every so often, and even follow the male actor on Instagram. I would love to know if there's any behind the scenes or any bonus stuff somewhere, and of course, the biggest question is if the boys were hidden somewhere in the background, as I really didn't see any mention of them. Moving on, we must talk about the masterpiece of a music video, which is for the song Harvey. We start this video with the boys performing before gearing up to rob an old abandoned house. Apparently, this is real footage of what they did after their shows. They walk around the house to see different weird things and ghosts. The video is very much just an introduction to the album and what to expect when listening. It's also shot very well with that crisp 4:3 ratio. We end the video with the boys being congratulated, with a cake that says, "Invitation to Hers," as they leave and walk out into the night. This would be the last video they ever posted on their channel. Following the release of the album, the boys went on a tour and released a vinyl on the way. They even played at Washington, D.C., 1 hour away from me, and I am so mad I missed the chance to see them because I didn't even know who they were at the time, so, you know. The boys decided to extend their tour and move deeper into the west of America. They played at a venue in Arizona, like any other show, without realizing that it would be their last. The two boys and their manager would get into their tour van, pack up for the night, take some last pictures before heading to one of their last shows of the tour. On the drive there, a stupid drunk driver decided to drive on the wrong side of the road, which resulted in a crash. The truck slammed into their tour van. This would kill both Stefan, Alden, and the tour manager Trevor.
They're both members of the up-and-coming Liverpool indie band Hers have been killed in a car crash in the United States.
Members of a British band and their tour manager killed in a fiery wrong-way crash. Now, it happened in the middle of the night on the I-10 earlier this week.
Going crazy and cheering them to come back on for an encore, and they ended up playing 2 more songs.
But just a few hours later, a fiery crash. The duo, making up the British band called Hers, was headed to California for the last shows on their tour when state troopers say 63-year-old Francisco Eduardo Boya was in this pickup, driving on the wrong side of the I-10, colliding head-on with the band's van, killing the young duo and their tour manager.
A very fast and tragic end to a band that was on the edge of something greater. That day, we lost 2 magnificent boys and 1 talented manager to one man's decision. To all the things that could have been done differently, to have these 2 still jamming out today would keep you up at night like it does for me. With this, we would never get another new album, another new song, or get to see these 2 boys doing their thing on stage. The day before the duo passed, a video was released of the boys singing an acoustic version of Harvey on a boat for a live performance interview. Comment on this video really gets to me. I'm just gonna believe those 2 are still on that boat. Enjoy yourself, boys. A memorial was held for them, and to this day, the band still has an active and amazing community of fans who continue to share their love and support for a band that was only here for a short amount of time. The two boys' memories live on through their music and through their fans. Many fans were hoping for demos, unreleased music, or something, anything at all. And luckily, we were right. There was one, just one, song given to us. A song titled Some Nights.
Some nights I wonder if she's sleeping. Is she caught up on how I'm feeling? I'll be up till God knows, dreaming of you till then I'm sorry.
This song was sung live many different times throughout Hers tours, with no real mention to what it was other than it was unreleased. Some people say that it could have been a part of a new album they were working on, but me and many others believe it wasn't for a new album, as they were just on tour to spotlight their debut album. This plays back to what I said earlier. In the interview, they mentioned how they were planning to have a 12th song in the album, and I'm guessing this was it. Some Nights was clearly meant for Invitation to Hers, but clearly was scrapped. We are lucky enough to get this one unreleased track, even though I personally hold out for something else later down the line. Maybe a demo, a lyric sheet, or even something, but that really could just be me.
I love the way that you can teach this.
Hers really could have been one of the best pop indie bands of our time, and who knows what beautiful masterpiece albums we would have gotten if these two boys were still out there jamming today. Until that day comes where I wake up in another universe and these two are still making songs, I'll be here waiting for what you left us. The two amazing albums I listen to daily. These two boys really don't know how much of an influence they've had on my life. When I make short films, when I make videos, when I make literally anything, they inspire everything I do, and I wish they were still here to know that. You'll be forever in our hearts. Rest easy, boys.